There are lots of things I love. I love video games, I love turtles, I love pickles, I love my mom. She's the best mom. Better than your mom. I love root beer. I love my cat. I love making YouTube videos. I love watching YouTube videos. I love clicking the subscribe button on channels I like. Hint, hint. I love all sorts of junk, but amongst all the things that I love, there is one thing that I love more than anything. And I have a hard time picturing a day when this will not be my favorite thing. It's this. This box. Isn't it beautiful? Actually, I changed my mind. This box sucks. It's the Miyoo Mini, not the Plus, the original Miyoo Mini. And today I'm going to tell you why it's my favorite thing that I love more than anything.
You love me?
I didn't say that. Shut up. Hey there, how you doing? I'm TechDweeb, welcome. Allow me to set the scene. It's 2019 and I just got my first retro handheld. It was a piece of garbage, but I like playing old retro games on it, and getting this ignited a spark that caused me to experiment with retro handhelds. I tried a few, but when I discovered the new BitBoy, I immediately fell in love because I had always wanted a tiny little Game Boy. It wasn't perfect, but I still loved this thing and I carried it around with me everywhere I went. And then when the Miyoo Mini came along, that was like it. It was the end game for me. It took everything that was great about the new BitBoy and fixed everything and just made it the perfect mini handheld, at least for the hardware. And then Onion OS came along and made it perfect on the software side. And my dream handheld was a reality. I wanted for nothing with the Miyoo Mini, and I was so happy.
Yay!
But then tragedy struck for the Miyoo Mini lovers of the world.
Oh no!
The Miyoo Mini was discontinued for a while there because Miyoo couldn't source the screens. And it seemed like the Miyoo Mini would become a rare thing, fragile and irreplaceable. The Miyoo Mini Plus sort of solved that. It's an amazing device and it is my most recommended handheld for most people, but the Plus is bigger. And as good as it is, if you want the little guy, then the Plus isn't going to scratch that itch. But luckily, the shortage didn't last forever. Miyoo got their screen issue sorted and now you can buy Miyoo Minis again. And actually, Lid NXT sells them now. This is the V4 Miyoo Mini with the Lid NXT special custom Onion OS SD card that we'll talk about. And if you want one, you can buy it from them. But instead of just doing a boring old 2024 updated review for the Miyoo Mini or whatever, I wanted to do something special with this video. This is a celebration of everything that makes the Miyoo Mini great and why, yes, even today, this is my favorite thing.
You're my favorite thing too, TechDweeb.
Yeah, I'm not a thing though. I'm a person. You're a handheld, so you're a thing, but not me.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm still glad I have you though.
Thanks, buddy. I'm glad I have you too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be pretty weird if we kissed though, right?
What?
What?
So let's start with the easy thing to get out of the way. This thing is the perfect size and shape to be as small as it can be while still being comfortable to game on. It's thin, especially because the bumpers and triggers don't stick out so it can lie more flush in your pocket. And it's light. You barely notice this in your pocket. This thing is just 100 grams. That's half the weight of my phone and it's even lighter than a pickle.
Yay! I have a friend.
This thing is so small that it can live in my pocket, and because of that, it goes everywhere with me. I bring it with me to the grocery store, to the library, to the mall, to the other mall, to your mom's job, to weddings, to funerals. Everywhere I go, my Miyoo Mini goes to. And if I don't have it with me, then I feel something's missing from my life. Like a puppy adrift on a raft in the ocean.
Aw, poor little guy.
With lots of mini handhelds, the controls are often not good. It seems like there's always a sacrifice. Either the D-pad and the buttons have to be small, or they're in a weird place, or they're just not comfortable to use. Not here though. The controls on the Miyoo Mini are amazing. Part of that feeling comes from the fact that I've used the Miyoo Mini so much over the last couple of years that it just kind of feels like home to me. But objectively, the controls are great too. The D-pad has great inputs. It passes the Contra test, easy to pull off moves in fighting games. The buttons have just the right balance of mush and click. This is exactly the type of feel and inputs that I want out of my D-pad and buttons. The shoulders and bumpers, I've heard complaints about these, but they're fine for me. However, I think it's fair to say that the ergonomics of the Miyoo Mini aren't going to be for everyone. It's very compatible with my hands, with my long skinny fingers. But I don't know, maybe if you have fat hands or weird dumb fingers, then it's not going to be good for you. If you don't like small devices, then the Miyoo Mini probably isn't going to work out for you. That's what the Miyoo Mini Plus is for.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, this is the Miyoo Mini V4 because there were several versions of the Miyoo Mini before this, and this is the fourth one, if you can believe that.
I believe everything you say, TechDweeb.
Yeah, that's probably a mistake.
Yes, sir.
The big change in the models after the V2 is that they had to change the screen. It used to be 640 by 480, but now it's 750 by 530. It looks absolutely amazing. Still, after all this time, and I've had so many handhelds since this, it still blows my mind how good this screen looks. It's the standard that I hold every other IPS display device to.
Look upon me and gaze at my crispy pixels.
You know what? You go right ahead and gloat. You've earned it.
My colors shine brighter than reality itself.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Bow before me, mortals!
So, yeah, nice screen. Really nice. There are lots of ways that you can mod your devices. You can add stickers, cases, even custom shells, custom buttons. You can paint them if you're a weirdo. Lots of devices have lots of options available for them, but the Miyoo Mini might be one of the most, if not the most, modded devices ever. I just did the buttons on this one. These are Sakura Retro Mod buttons, which I prefer to the stock buttons, but I also made my own custom BMO version of the blue model, and if you search for Miyoo Mini mod, you'll find a ton of examples of people who have done some really cool stuff. And if you go to Etsy and search for Miyoo Mini, you'll see a crazy amount of custom buttons and D-pads and bumpers and triggers, stickers and decals and cases and docks, and anything that you could want, really.
But what if I want a diamond ring?
Look, I already told you, I'm not going to be pressured into getting you a ring, okay?
But RG Nano's owner got her a diamond ring.
Well, RG Nano's owner has lots of money.
That's because he has a job, TechDweeb.
Not this again.
Yes, this again.
The stock OS on the Miyoo Mini is fine. However, I can't recommend enough that you just make the switch to Onion OS. You can install it yourself. It's crazy easy. I'll link to the guide that you can follow and have it up and running in about 5 minutes. But if you're not savvy on that sort of thing, or if you just like a shortcut and you don't want to have to take the time, I can't say enough nice things about the Onion OS SD card that you can buy from Lid NXT. It's all set up for you, ready to rock. It's a 128 gigabyte SanDisk card, so it's good quality, and it comes with the best game lists I think I've ever seen on a device with that comes with games on it. The games lists are organized so the best games are front and center with extra folders for complete 1G 1R ROM collections, which are my favorite types of ROM sets, and also translated games and modern games and ROM hacks, all the art scraped, all the systems set up and configured properly. And the cherry on top is that it comes with the TechDweeb skin pre-installed, which is the best skin. I made a video about the whole thing, and you can check that out link below if you want to know more. I'm not going to go in depth here on everything that's great about Onion OS, but the 15-second version is that it looks great, nice simple options with advanced stuff under the hood. It's easy to browse your games and launch your games. You can use the game switcher to easily exit your games and automatically save your state, switch through the games that you've been playing, and if you power down while a game is running, it'll automatically save your state and shut down, and then the next time that you start the device, it'll boot back right to where you left off right away. And that's just the start. There's so many cool things that you can do with Onion OS.
That was 34 seconds.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just get excited.
That's what she said.
I don't think that joke works in that context.
That's what she...
Retro doodads are lovely things. They are nice objects that are fun to hold and look at, but once the superficial infatuation wears off, really, it's all about the games. That's why we're here, and that's all that matters in the end. So, does the Miyoo Mini do good games? Well, heck yeah, it does. Not only do you get all the old classic stuff that runs perfect, all the old Atari, arcades, and Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance, TurboGrafx-16, Sega Master System, Sega Genesis, computer systems like DOS and Amiga, but you also get 3D stuff like PS1, Nintendo DS, and a whole heck ton of ports. PS1 runs amazing. Every PS1 game runs at full speed, but the pro tip for that is that you'll want to enable show interlaced video in the quick options. Then all the games will run perfectly. Not every every Nintendo DS game runs perfect, but most run amazing, and the games look amazing, and the DS emulator is freaking awesome. You have super easy hotkeys for changing the screen layout, changing the visuals, switching between controller and stylus mode. I actually love playing Nintendo DS on here. The idea that I could have a tiny Game Boy that can hold and play hundreds of DS games and live in my pocket still blows my mind. And the ports are so cool. Not just DOS games, although you can play DOS games on here and they work great, but I'm talking about full ports with perfect performance. That Onion SD card from Lit NXT comes preloaded with all the Duke Nukem games, all the Doom, a bunch of first-person shooters like Blood and Redneck Rampage and Shadow Warrior, freaking Quake, Diablo, Streets of Rage Remake, a bunch of PC ports, and that's just scratching the surface. Check out the Onion OS wiki if you want to see everything that's available. But honestly, I'm mostly just here for the old stuff. Playing Nintendo and Game Boy and Super Nintendo and Game Boy Advance on this thing is among my favorite pastimes. This might be lame, but sometimes I turn on Chrono Trigger on my Miyoo Mini and just get to the map and leave it running on my desk just so I can listen to that chill music, while the Miyoo Mini acts like a little TV on my desk showing me the lovely Kingdom of Zeal. Speaking of this thing acting like a little TV, this thing can also be a little TV. I loaded up the free space on my card with Adventure Time, and the built-in media player had no problem playing the files. Very often, if I'm on my phone or laptop, I'll want a separate device off to the side to watch something on. And since the Miyoo Mini lives in my pocket, I always have it locked and loaded to watch some cartoons. Call me childish.
You're childish.
But it just feels right to have cartoons playing on my little Game Boy buddy. And there are a few other random things you can do with it, but one kind of weirdly intriguing thing is that this thing can be an e-reader. I mean, I know it sounds weird, the idea of reading a book on a Miyoo Mini, but I love devices that can act as a Swiss Army knife, that can do a bunch of things. And just because I loaded up some books on here, and I've been reading them. Well, but I've been reading the whole thing on here, and I've actually loved being able to do this.
Yeah, but can you read this?
Yeah, I can, buddy.
Good.
When I was a little kid, I had this stuffed monkey. I don't know where Monkey came from, but in my memories, he was always there. I would bring Monkey everywhere. Mom wouldn't let me take him to school, but sometimes I'd sneak him out and take him anyways. He was a comfort object. I felt safe when he was with me. Someone who loved me regardless of how many times I accidentally sneezed in his face.
Yeah, I've been meaning to talk to you about that.
I had Monkey right up until like 15 years ago or something. That's when I made a really, really dumb mistake. So we were moving, and there was this box of really old stuff that I had kind of kicking around, just full of old like art supplies and broken toys and old controllers and whatever. So I straight up just threw it away, trying to declutter my life. And it was way later that I realized that Monkey must have been in that box, because he's gone from my life now. And I wouldn't have thrown him away if I knew he was in there. And I'll never forgive myself, because he was my friend and I miss him.
That's the saddest story you've ever told, TechDweeb. I hope it has a happy ending.
Yeah, it does, Miyoo Mini, because I don't need Monkey anymore. I have the Data Frog SF2000.
What?
Ha! You should see the look on your face.
Oh, that's cruel.
And the story ends with me now, here today, as an adult who has learned through some hard lessons that he still needs his comfort object. My buddy calls it an emotional support Game Boy. The Miyoo Mini has become the thing that I feel better if it's with me. But it's not just about fun video games, and it's not just about playing games that remind me of the good and the bad times of my life. You know, pick me up when I need it. But it's also about having a device with me that I use all the time so that I can make new gaming memories. If I lost all my other tech, as long as I still had my Miyoo Mini, I could be a happy gamer. It's not perfect. It's not as comfortable as some other devices because it's small. It doesn't have Wi-Fi. You'll need a Miyoo Mini Plus if you want that stuff. But it's everything that I need in a pocket device. It scratches the itch in my nostalgia bone. It's my portal to the magic worlds of the best games known to man. And it's my friend who never lets me down. Unlike Ruben, who deleted my save games.
What? Really? What a jerk.
Yeah, screw that guy. And of course, if you need a Miyoo Mini, or if you want to get an Onion OS SD card, or if you want a Miyoo Mini Plus, or if you want custom buttons for your Miyoo Mini, then check out the link in the doodad below, and make sure that you use the discount code TechDweeb to save 12% if you do. So that's it. That's what I wanted to talk about. A love letter to my favorite doodad. So let me know in the comments, what's your favorite thing? I'm legitimately super curious to see what people are going to say. And while you're down there, click the thumbs up button if you like the video, or don't if you didn't.
Who couldn't like this video?
I know, right? I'm TechDweeb. Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.
Me and you and me.
No matter how we toss the dice, it had to be.
The only one for me is you, and you is me. So happy together. I can't see me